Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications from when we go live, tap the bell. We go live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before market open. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the description to our Discord and our options trading group on Facebook. If you're here right now, say what up, hit the like button. Good morning, happy, almost said Friday, Thursday. Happy Thursday. We made it through so far. Pretty crazy week. Right now we have the S&P down 16, Dow's down 102, and Nasdaq down 22 points. So nothing crazy going on. Let's go down. Luke, Mason, Arsh, Jeff, Hank. How are we doing? How are we doing this morning? Faiz. Yeah, right now the market is, for me, what I think about the market right now is thing going to 2K before a year. Yeah, gold. I wish I bought some at 1,700. I was thinking about that morning. I was actually thinking about you this morning, Hank, and you were mentioning it the other day. And I was thinking this morning, I'm like, wish I picked some up below 1,700 or at 1,700. And here we are. Ivan, Carlos, Andrew. Kind of what my thoughts on the market right now is. Obviously, volatility is drying up a little bit if we're looking at the VIX. 25 volatility drying up. We're kind of getting back down into like the 20 range, maybe even 15 range here. Eventually, it's just we're not going to get the wild moves. And if you look at like Apple, the consolidation is just driving, as you can see down here, this is the implied volatility chart, just driving implied volatility just way down. Microsoft as well. I mean, the good news is, we're going to be getting some cheaper options, so you can definitely add on, you can definitely stack your deltas. But the bad news is that the moves are going to be less vicious. We're going to be making, I'm not saying you're going to make less money, but you're not going to get the moves that we were getting before. So that is kind of like my thoughts right now on the market. Buy silver. We'll see. I don't know if I really like silver all that much, but we'll see. Yo, Rob, Theta Thursdays, welcome. Keith, Alex. DKNG is down 3% pre-market. I know I'm watching. I do have a DKNG position. So that's kind of my thoughts on the market right now. Just being careful overall, being more careful than usual. And, right now I am short the Qs. I'm long Disney, long DKNG, and long Grub. So I need to find something to do. Thanks, Rob. I had more GDX yesterday. Seems like to be a better swing trading asset than GLD or gold. Yeah, GDX is nice. You'll got what's going on. So I think everyone's thoughts are, before we get into like SPYs and Qs and all that, let's talk about Boeing, because everyone wants to talk about Boeing. I mean, they had options up, some 2,000% yesterday, and looking at Boeing, and this is what I've been saying. Just be mindful of. I didn't trade Boeing yesterday. I was trading Zoom, unfortunately. Well, I mean, not unfortunately. I made a lot of money trading Zoom. I wish that I also got into Boeing, but when I'm up a lot, like right at open, if I'm like up a decent amount, I try not to overtrade because I don't want to give back my gains, right? So like today, I'm probably not going to be up any money because I don't really have much going on. I mean, I'm short the Qs, but I don't think it's going to really pay out like a different trade is. So what I've been saying is on Boeing, be mindful. Here it was making consistent, like forget this part. It was making consistent lower highs. So it popped here, popped here, popped here, popped here, popped here, and then, hit 118. And then we had a reversal. Now, for me to get into a reversal, you have to start breaking some of these highs here. And it started to very slowly, like there was some pullback, then it just kept kind of trucking along. But yesterday, So it took out the highs around 135, then it took out 148, then it took out 164 yesterday. But then yesterday was just like, as you can see, this is an enormous candle. It definitely picked up volume. Definitely almost hit, was it 68 million here? So volume was nice, popped up. Now we need to take out this high right here. Is kind of what I'm watching right now, is 180, the 180, 188 area is what's going to happen right in here. We're going to get the volume push. I mean, we're already at 182 pre-market right now. So is this going to push up and then we're going to kind of coast up to 200? That's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking for it to be a little safe. I don't want to have like another crazy pop and then it drops. So I think Boeing is in an interesting place because they, forget the pandemic. Before this, they were having trouble based on, like, if you go to the 2-year chart, I mean, it hasn't been good. They were consolidating and then they officially dropped off. They were having trouble due to the 737 MAX. Now they need to get approval for the 737 MAX. They started production of the 737 MAX again, and because the travel sector was up, Boeing was up as well. Yesterday the airlines were up. Spirit Airlines was up like crazy. I mean, it's just, MGM, everything because of the reopening, right? MGM yesterday was, I don't even remember, but it was up a lot. Like it was up like 20% or something like that. So that's what I'm waiting for on Boeing, is kind of seeing what's going to happen here. And people are like, hey, why don't you just hop in? Why don't you just hop in? Like this is my approach. You find out when you trade, like, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And for me, moving in slower, it pays out better for me. Now, some people may be better at scalping than me. Some people may be able to get in, get out. And, we all have different talents in the market. That's why you got to kind of find what you're good at and what you're not good at. And for me, like, I know that if I chase this and we're this close to resistance, for me personally, my strategy, I have a high probability of losing money. That's just it. I would rather it pump up to like 180, 200, pull back to 180, and I buy and it goes back up. That's more probable for me to make money. Now, some people are like, no, I just hop on the fastest moving train and I get off. And that's what it is. Like Rob, he hops on the fastest moving train, no helmet, no parachute, no airbags, but if you're good at that, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if you're good at it. But for me, that's not the way that I make moves in the stock market. That's not the way that I protect myself. So, for me, what I would prefer to do here is, instead of just hopping on and getting FOMO, I would rather it even push up to 200, come back. There's going to be a red day on it. Buy the pullback, whether it's 190, 188, 180 area, buy the pullback and go from there. That's kind of like my strategy, and I'm probably a lot safer. And honestly, my strategies are not exciting. Like, they're not flashy. They're not like, I try to make smart moves, but I move slow and I take my profits. I mean, that's it. That's the strategy. I move slow. I take my profits. I try to evaluate the marketplace. I see what's kind of popping, see what I want to get invested in, and I move on from there. Yeah, like I'm saying, there's nothing, Rob. There's nothing wrong. We're all, like I said, we all have different personalities, psychological backgrounds, mentality. We all have the same charts and information. We're looking at the exact same data. It's how you interpret it. And if scalping is the best way for you to make money, continue doing that. I'm not here to discourage or anything, but like for me, that's not my strategy, and that's why, like, I encourage everybody here to kind of take bits and pieces and learn from a bunch of people. Like, my strategy may not work for you. Like, my strategy is probably not going to work for Rob. Maybe from a technical standpoint, he likes what I have to say, but he probably is not going to do the same trades that I do, and I'm probably not going to do the same trades that he does. But at the end of the day, if we're both green, it is what it is, and that's why it's important to kind of learn from a lot of different people, ask questions, get different perspectives. I mean, it's just kind of like life in general. Get different perspectives from different people, and that's that's what you should do for trading. So if you're just joining, say what up. Guys, hit the like button. See Carl, Derek, Chad. So I had a VTIQ call, and now the ticker is NKLA, but the option is grayed out. Will that change it open? I haven't been really following it. Did they merge? Yo, Rodney, what's going on? I don't know about VTIQ. I know a lot of people chase VTIQ, and I told them not to, and they got burned. They got, it's a penny stock. It was a penny stock, a pump and dump event, and like I said, if that's your strategy, nothing wrong with that. But for my personal opinion and what I want to do is look at the Discord. Oh, you guys are all up in the Discord. It's hard for me to focus on a lot of different places. So for Boeing, that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. Even right now, S&P's, Dow, and Nasdaq are recovering. I mean, they recovered a bunch. We had the jobs report this morning, guys. Jobs report came in at 1.87 million last week versus estimation of 1.7 million. Not that it even matters. I don't even know why. I just think it's good information to know. But I think that the job report, it didn't matter when we have 8 million unemployed. So why would it matter? Why would it matter when you have 1.8 million? What I'm here is to see what's gonna kind of keep these numbers straight in my head, because as we're trading, we're looking at the long game, right? The long game is, okay, how many? We're at what? 43 million unemployed now. 44 million unemployed. Market's running on optimism. If that optimism doesn't pan out, I mean, what do you think is going to happen, right? And I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news. I mean, my deltas right now are long, so I'm not trying to short the market or go against the trend. But I like to keep this information in my head so that way, when I need to pull it out and act on it, is there instead of having to do all the research in the time of need. So that's kind of why I store a lot of this information, kind of keep track of what the unemployment number is in my head, kind of keep track of what's going on in the background and the fundamentals of the market. Not that that doesn't matter, but the market will eventually care about it. At least I think so. I mean, at some point. I am looking at DocuSign, Slack, and Broadcom. Probably not Broadcom, mostly probably DocuSign and Slack for earnings. I feel like I'm gonna have to hold. I'm gonna sneeze. Thanks. VIX, please go up. Yeah, I mean, I think they're just crushing premium, and VIX is gonna have a hard time. I mean, VIX up right now, 38 cents, but premium is going to get crushed. So when the volatility is low, this is where you have to become a better trader and remain disciplined and focus on what's important and throw out the garbage. Because it's not going to be as easy, like just buying a call, buying a put, whatever. It's not going to be as easy when volatility is low, because you're going to have many flat days, and those flat days are going to burn you, and then we're also going to be in a position like, well, I'll just sell credit spreads or iron condors or whatever. It gets to the point where premium is so cheap that it makes it hard, and the risk to reward ratio is very low. So you gotta kind of balance it out and focus on the movers right now. Zoom, I'm also looking at Zoom this morning. Currently at 222. It might be a buy the dip stock here. I mean, I don't typically like to buy these kind of candles, but if it does pull back just for a day trade, not for a swing trade, look for it. Maybe if it comes back down to 220, bounces up, we can catch it for a couple bucks up in there. Probably looking at Boeing as well, like I said, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Boeing, the difference between Zoom right now and Boeing is Zoom has zero resistance and Boeing has a lot of resistance ahead. So that is the main difference, between Boeing and Zoom. Looking at Slack right now. Slack tried to hit all-time highs. Right now it's come down a little bit. It's at 40. It did hit 40, almost 41 last night. But it does have earnings. I am expecting it to do well. However, I mean, it depends on how much of Microsoft Teams is eating its lunch, So that's what I am a little bit worried about on Slack. Right now, the expected move on Slack is $3. So it's just under a 10% move right now. Implied volatility is at 134%. So it's relatively high, but I wouldn't say it's like huge. Like Zoom was like 200% implied volatility. So that's why we made so much money on it when we sold some premium on here. But Slack at 134%, if this comes down to, I would anticipate implied volatility drops off to like 80 or 70. So which would be a really nice premium crush payday as well. But I'm a little bit worried about the expected move. $3 seems a little bit low, because if it comes back, like if it pulls back to like 34 from 40, that's a $6. That's a $6 move, right? That's a $6 move, and it's only expected to be $3. Or maybe it's priced in. So I might just go in very low and slow, right? Docu. How long is your average debit non-earnings play? What do you mean? Like how many days do I hold? I mean, sometimes it's a day I hold, and sometimes, like right now, I'm in July expiration for a lot of things. So right now I'm just kind of hanging on. Right now I'm just kind of hanging on to like DKNG. I'm hanging on to the Qs. So we're just kind of chilling. There's some crazy dude on the street told you to buy NIO. I don't take investment advice from anybody that I just randomly run into. I had my I was telling some people, like last week I had the air conditioner guy here, cleaning and fixing things up, and he saw my screens, and he was telling me that he bought DKNG and a bunch of other penny stocks when they were low, and I'm like, okay, great. like, what do you want me to say? I'm not going to tell you I want my air conditioner fixed. I'm not going to tell you anything. Please fix the air conditioner. I don't want them to get mad and walk out, and I still have no air. But yeah, let's look at Docu, and then I'll look at NAV, Disney as well. I am in Disney. I am long Disney. I'm long for their July 11th opening here. Docu kind of just been holding the line here around like 145 for the last couple of days. This is where it consolidated back a couple of days ago on Monday. It's always just kind of gravitated. You could kind of see 146 area is kind of gravitated to the 146 area the last couple of days. And, like Zoom, I mean, it's had a crazy run from 118 all the way up to, as high as 152 here. DocuSign is going to be another coronavirus. I mean, DocuSign, if you've never used DocuSign, I mean, it's an amazing product. It's relatively low cost, and it's amazing for your customers and builds credibility and allows you to get contracts signed like that versus like what people used to do is like you would send someone a contract, they'd print it out, they'd have to sign it, they'd have to scan it in, then they'd have to email it, which all these things are not secure at all. Not secure. Email, if you guys think email is secure, email is the least secure platform to be using. so people think like, oh, I'll just email it. I'll just email my tax returns. I'll just email blah, blah, blah. Like, do not. From technical perspective, do not. So DocuSign, I mean, it's amazing. It's secure for the most part, as long as they don't get hacked, right? Nothing's 100% these days, but it's way safer than email. And it allows people just to click, view, sign electronically, and it gets sent off to you. I mean, it's amazing. So, DocuSign, when the pandemic hit, everyone was working remote, so they're not like physically like scanning things in, getting printers and doing all this stuff. They rely more on DocuSign. This is why it's definitely rallied rather hard. It was already on the incline, and you can't see it right here, but the lower here for the 52 week is 43. I mean, I think this run is pretty extraordinary, but it might deserve it. But, implied volatility is a little bit higher. It's at 150% right now. So what I'm looking at, probably more of a neutral play on DocuSign. However, there's a little bit of illiquidity, I would say, with DocuSign. So I would probably be looking, pretty similar to what I did with Zoom, is selling some premium right in here depending on where these open at right now. It's at what, 147. So we might have to sell the 150s, and then maybe do, depends, maybe do, get something cheap up here. Maybe something like this. I don't know. I gotta play around with this. $20 to the upside, $20 to the downside. Maybe we come in a little bit. Maybe something like this. Mainly look at selling some premium here, right at the money, seeing what he's coming at. But you know, it doesn't seem, you know, if I go into next week, possibly, I don't know what this is. What does it say on Thinkorswim? Next week, implied volatility is at 99%, so relatively respectable. But this is for some reason not loading right for next week. So some of these are at 0%. So you just be careful. Be careful of DocuSign. I mean, I know these numbers will change when the market opens, so we'll see what happens. But that's kind of what I'm looking for DocuSign. I'm probably just looking to sell some premium. I'm looking to sell some premium on Slack. So, Jonathan, yeah, let's look at NAV real quick. Navistar, they just had earnings as well. It's at 26.50, so it's coming up right at 27 here, resistance. So we'll see what happens. You know, it really, for it to be extra bullish or really bullish, I mean, you want to get above this 200-day moving average up in here to kind of secure that. But as you can see, for most of the year, it's been riding under it for most of the year. I mean, it's popped up quite a bit, but I mean, it's been rough. It's been rough. Most sold account on dark web is email accounts. Yeah, I mean, it's email, especially like the older generation. Like if you're above 40, maybe I shouldn't say that. If you're above 50, you use email and you think it's secure because you've always just used it and it was there, but it's the least secure. I would rather iMessage or text message somebody something than use email because it's encrypted from end to end on iMessage. If you didn't know that. SPY right now 311, so we're still holding. So it's still holding this 310. So this is what we were talking about. We were talking about this last, like pretty much all week. You know, it's holding right now. It's at 311, bounced off 310. Let's see if it reclaims this area right in here and builds some sort of support. But yeah, let's look at Disney. So this is what I'm looking at right now in SPY, seeing if we hold this and it develops some sort of support versus resistance. And Disney right now, I mean, is bouncing back up. I mean, everything is bouncing back up. It looks like to me, any dip is getting bought. And I mean, it's been like this for what, 2 months now, a month and a half, that any dip is getting bought. Like it's no longer a short the rip type of scenario. It's any major dip, it just gets bought. So you know, that's kind of what it is. I mean, right now you pretty much just have to put fundamentals aside, close your eyes, hope for the best, hope people get back to work and just trade the price action. And Disney, you know, I think that the pop is yet to come because we're still really early. We're right now June. They're not expected to open until July 11th. So what we need is the media to start picking up like, hey, Disney's going to be reopening, which they will probably towards the end of this month. Say, hey, Disney's going to reopen. You know, then you know what happens when the media starts blasting it. All the Robinhood traders get in there and be like, hey, it's only 120 right now. I think it's going to go to 150. Let me buy a bunch of Disney stock, and then we skyrocket. So, you know how it goes. You know, once the media starts blasting like recovery, V-shaped recovery, things are cheap. You know, the Robinhood traders are going to come through. And now people, I think, are discounting the amount of Robinhood traders there are. I mean, in the pandemic alone, I think they gained, I don't know, a few million accounts, and they're pretty serious, and the more money that they make buying the dip, the more aggressive that they're gonna make, they're gonna be. So if you like, let's say you bought the dip, let's say you're a brand new trader and you bought the dip, and you were holding, and you bought it like 100 and it's up to 122, you made 20%, and you've done that across, let's say you did the airlines, you bought this in the low 20s, it's come back at 28. You're gonna think you're a genius. So what's gonna happen is any major dip, they're gonna keep redeploying the capital. And I don't know if this is a trap or not because it seems too easy. Eventually it's not gonna work. But for the time being, hopefully they kind of save some of that cash and are able to redeploy the funds when they need it the most, right? So. Plus 60%, I should have bought 200. Yeah, I mean, that's always the thing. Is like I should have bought more. But the thing is, you made the best call. You made the best call at that time. You assessed the risk for the market. You assessed the risk to your portfolio, and you made the best call that you could do. And sure, it feels bad. I mean, I've had plays where I made 300% and it was cheap or something like that. I'm like, why did I only spend $100 on this? It's because it was really risky, is why I spent $100 on it. It's because it was really risky. It's like, why couldn't I put $1,000 or $2,000 on that and make the 300%? It's because it was freaking risky, and I didn't want to. If it went to zero, I wouldn't care about the $100. But a few thousand, and I would start to think about maybe that was a bad idea. So this is a good question for you then. When will you feel comfortable taking your children to Disneyland? Well, Tobin, since my wife is diabetic, so it makes it harder. I don't think that like I am a average case, my family, because we have medical conditions here. So for us, typically we go to Disneyland once a year, and we're not going to go this year, and we might not go next year. It depends on. I mean, we're not going to be, because we have medical conditions in our family here. We're not going to be the ones to be the first ones lining up. We'll kind of see how it goes. I mean, if the risk is low, maybe we will go next year. But if the risk is high, then, or even if the risk is medium, we can't go. Like, we're not gonna. I mean, she has enough problems, and we don't need that. It's if you don't know a diabetic personally, like most people that live, like myself, never, like before her, I never even thought about it. How I just eat what I want to eat, I drink what I want to drink, I do what I need to do, I work out, I do all these things. But for a diabetic, I mean, you have to control your blood sugar, and it goes high, it goes low. Sure, there's some middle ground, but at the end of the day, you have to control it, keep an eye on your numbers, and it's a lot of work. It's mentally draining, it's physically draining. You have to get up in the middle of the night if your blood sugar is low, eat something. Sometimes like the insulin pump will like mess up and not give insulin, and then realize a couple of hours later like the blood sugars are sky high, then you're not feeling good. I mean, and then so it gives you a different perspective on life that like someone without medical conditions such as myself take a lot of things for granted. And I think that that people that do have, the people that do have medical conditions have every right to be concerned about being afraid of coronavirus, such as my wife, because it takes a lot of work to keep her alive already, so that is so whenever she's ready, we will do what we need to do. I want to go to Mexico, I want to go to Disneyland, I want to do those things, but I'm not in the driver's seat on this one. Definitely not. So whenever she feels comfortable, we will do what we need to do. But so I don't think, Hank, I am a good person to base that judgment on, because we are not a normal household. I have the same view with my kid going back to daycare. I'm not going to be the first one to send him back and risk wave 2. Yeah, I mean, you just got to be careful. I mean, if you have medical conditions in your household, you got to be careful. Luke, girlfriend's anemic and has gluten allergies, so I've had to learn what to be cautious in areas I never thought before. Definitely changed the way. Yeah, Luke, my son, we don't have any allergies in my family, And my son has a severe peanut allergy, and it's changed my life. Changed my life. My dad has diabetes. Flew from Arkansas to Ohio. Yeah, I mean, you can do what you want to do. I'm just saying that when you're a mother, a young mother with small children, you want to keep the risk low, kind of like options trading. We want to keep the variables low. So why expose yourself to more variables like in options trading, right? And he's 70 years old. Yeah, my dad has had 2 open heart surgeries, diabetic, and he went to Florida, and he doesn't even care about the corona. Maybe it's generational. Maybe it's not a factor. Maybe it's not. Maybe corona's not something to fear. Maybe they're right. I don't know. But I had a freaking. Never mind. Never mind. I don't really want to talk about that. Okay, so Disney's a little bit flat. Netflix got pounded yesterday. Netflix got pounded from open around 427, came down to 418, ripped back up. Do you think the NBA meeting today will affect DKNG? I think any sports news will have a positive impact on DKNG, and Docu's really ripping right now. I think we just need sports to start. We need sports to start, and DKNG will be okay. DKNG will be okay. But DKNG is not in trouble. DKNG down 27 cents today. It's not like it's any dip. Sure, even if it comes down back to 35, you don't think people are going to buy the dip at 35. I think a year from now, and this is my opinion, not investment advice, just be really clear. I think DKNG, and I haven't bought any shares yet, but I'm thinking about it. I think it's going to be like $75, $80 stock. But that's just my opinion, of course. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Maybe it'd be more. Maybe it'll be the same. But if you hold stock, the risk is relatively low. Like if I buy a bunch of DKNG stock right now, and it takes 5 years to come to fruition, I don't care, because in the short term, I'm making money trading options. So I don't really care. And that's kind of my strategy. I just buy stock, hold it for a long period of time, and if the company seems like it's not going to be doing well anymore, then I pull out. That's it. I don't get married to it. Alex, my wife has severe allergies, which have hit multiple times. Man, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I think as healthy people growing up in a healthy family that don't have medical issues, we take so much for granted. And it was really eye-opening, It was just, it's just, I think if you talk to more people who had medical history and you think, like, oh, that's hard. Like, you don't really understand how hard it is for them. It's work every day to stay alive. If you had to work every day to stay alive, it's draining. Sure, you get used to it, and that's just your reality. But when a healthy person encounters that, like myself, I'm like, man, this is a lot. This is a lot. But you got to do what you got to do. Has your wife tried keto? She has not. She watches what she eats and stuff like that, and she's not like eating a tub of ice cream and skyrocketing your blood sugars or anything like that. She's mindful. She doesn't drink she does drink Diet Coke occasionally, but she doesn't drink like lemonades and stuff that will skyrocket your blood sugars. Yeah, DKNG for some reason likes this 40 mark right here. Right now the market's relatively flat. S&Ps are coming back to where they dropped from. Right now they're down 8. Dow's down 34. Nasdaq down 5, and I think Dow was down like what 160, 180 a little bit ago. So, man, Boeing is ripping up to 184. Just crazy. 184. Disney's ripping right now. Oh yeah, Tan, I see you. I see you, bro. Disney is ripping. So I'm just gonna hold. I wish I averaged down. So on my Disney position, I was down 50%. I'm in July expiration. I was down 50% when Disney ripped down to like 113, 115 area. I should have averaged down. I just wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what was gonna happen. Like, does it top out here and it come back down to like the 105 area, 110? But no, it was a quick rebound. It was like instant. You know, it rebounded the same day even. I remember. I mean, it was crazy. I'm looking at SVXY. It's the short VIX ETF. What are you looking at? You're looking to buy shares. You're looking. Yeah, I mean, you can just buy shares if you want and hang on. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be moving slow. If you want, you could buy some options. The one thing that's a little bit tricky is options on like VIX and VXX. And I was explaining to someone yesterday that, you know, it doesn't follow technical analysis. It's more like market sentiment. So you have to think about it differently. So, you know, just be careful about that. And the thing is, you don't know, like one tweet, one news post, anything could happen, could skyrocket, and this could tank SVXY, which you probably know. So that's why, like for SVXY or VXX and VIX and all these, you know, volatility funds, you know, you kind of just want to take it slow and also give yourself enough time, because a lot of times they'll go from red to green to red to green to red to green, and eventually, I mean, you'll make money, but just be careful. James, NGI. And that really ripped up above resistance. So it ripped up. Now it's having a multi-day fade. You know, it looks dangerous. Looks dangerous. I mean, is it gonna come try to fill this gap and push back up, or is it gonna just kind of stabilize? You know, what one scenario that you would want to look at is if like it can stabilize around 3, and instead of the 3 area being resistance, which it was before, it starts using it as support. So if it can kind of hold above 3, you're good for the long side, right? But what I don't like to see, like being long like a stock like this, is it was downtrending way before the pandemic. Way before the pandemic. So you want to be careful. DKNG ripping still, and it's going up to 41. So it's gonna be kind of weird day. Kind of show you what's going on in my portfolio right now. I'm gonna try to get some day trades in. I don't really have a whole lot going on. I don't have anything expiring this week. I have nothing pressing. I am gonna be trading DocuSign. You know, Disney right now, I do have a debit spread on, down about 5% on. Just been holding this back to where I bought about. DKNG. So DKNG, technically I'm only down. I'm actually up on it right now, because remember yesterday I sold the call that I was short for $104 profit. I collected that and I said when DKNG spikes back up, because this was a debit spread originally. Now I just have a naked call. So I took profits because we had a pretty significant drop. So I took profits on the short call, and when this spikes back up, I'll look to add another short call to this spread. So I was short the 60 strike, and I bought it back for $1.15. You know, bid and ask pretty wide here right now. We have a lot of time. We'll see. We can see if this spikes up a little bit to like 44, 45 area, and I can short the 60 call again. So we'll have a little bit of protection. So when we get a dip, I'll look to sell that short call, and just kind of basically what the strategy is kind of rinse and repeating, collecting some premium on the dips while holding the call. So just collecting some premium as you're holding that position, and that's what I'm really looking for right now. Grubhub, I don't know what to do with Grubhub. I mean, Grubhub is stuck, and I feel like it's like, well, the minute I take it off, it's gonna move up, right? But it's the range getting it's getting stopped out. Grub is getting stopped out here at 59. It wants to go higher, but it's getting stopped out here at 59. You know, I'm down 52%. I did take my profits. I took my profits again from this debit spread. I took profits from the call side. So I'm actually down about $150 right now on that instead of the 210. So I'm really down $150 because I took the profits from the short call. But like, what is it doing? Like, is it going to go or not? Like, so I'm on the fence. Like, should I just like close out and say, okay, I lost 150 on it, or should I just kind of hang on? So we'll see. We'll see. I might make a decision tomorrow on it, because I mean, I do have, it's getting a little tight. I do have 15 days on it, so it's going to be expiring in 2 weeks. So I just got to be careful where that's at. And then I put on the QQQ trade, short the Qs. I have a debit spread for the Qs for 2 weeks from now. Just looking for a dip down to 233, 232 area. But at this rate, I don't know if we're going to get it. It's kind of riding the line here. We're down 10% on it. We're down. So what I do when I'm on like a holding period for my stocks right now, I'm just going to try to find some new ones. You know, just I don't have anything to trade here to do. Nothing really to do here. None of them are coming according to my plan yet. So to either take profits or take a loss, none of them are really hitting that. You know, what about Lyft? So Lyft, Uber's down, but Lyft, I think that you know, it got rejected here. I mean, they're still down. So the ride sharing for them was up 26% in May. However, I think the news got a little bit away from them because they're still down 70% from a year ago. So that's why I didn't buy this, and I was kind of waiting to see what happens. And the interesting part, it got rejected right at like 35.50 area, which is resistance on like April 28th right in here. Hit like the 35.20, 35 area, got rejected there yesterday. Now it's coming back down. So I would think maybe it might come down to like 32, 33 area. Range is a little tight there, so I didn't want to just go on in. So I'm kind of just observing right now, but it was pretty crazy. But for me, I don't think that it really deserved that type of run. I mean, if my business, I mean, I know it doesn't make sense, but if I said, hey, my business is down, I was up 26% last month, but from last year, I'm down 70%. You're like, whoa. You're just up. That's just like a play on words, really. Like your business is down 70% from where it was a year ago, but you're up 26% in May. They're up 26% in May from April, not like. So I feel like the news really hyped that, and people got in, and I mean the travel sector in general, and things were running hot yesterday mainly because the economy was reopening and the stores are reopening and everything's reopening, right? So that definitely helped them. It was kind of like the perfect storm. They had the news article. I think normally that if it didn't happen yesterday, I think that news article, maybe it was planned that way. I don't know. But I don't think it would really have pushed the stock this high. I mean, it could have, but I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm on the fence about Lyft. I mean, I think it deserves to be where it's at. I think it deserves to be consolidating between like 30 and 35 and just kind of chill there until their business shows signs of a recovery. But right now, their business is not showing signs of recovery, but that doesn't mean that in the future their business is not going to recover. In the future, their business is probably going to recover, but the question is, when is that going to happen? So, hope that answers your question. I feel like we got some good dialogue today. But yeah, right now the market is just holding. Like I said, volatility is going down a little bit right now. VIX futures down quite a bit. VIX futures, where is VIX? VXX still holding 30. So we're gonna see what happens here. 30. I mean, doesn't look good. VIX coming down 25, down 1%. So basically everything is coming down about 1%. Yo, Johnny, what's going on? Appreciate you. Glad you're here. Glad you're part of the community. I mean, that's what it's about. I mean, people are like, why do you do this? Like, for me, I really enjoy just talking about the stock market and the interaction with you guys. So that's what I mean. That's what I'm getting opinions. I mean, a lot of times I learn from many members in our Discord. There's a lot of great traders in our community. I learned from a lot of members in our community. So VXX is gonna get hit. Yeah. VXX trade down those /VX futures. So it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. Now Apple's still consolidating, so it's slowly pushing up. It looks like it wants to hit all-time highs here. It wants to push up, but you know, I'm a little bit cautious. So maybe I don't know, maybe I'll dip my toe in a little bit, go a little long Apple, but maybe pairs trade. So right now I am short Qs. Maybe can pair it up with, or maybe I don't know. We'll see. Right now the Qs are pushing pretty hard. I mean, Nasdaq is the only one that's green right now. S&P and Dow are red. Russell's red. But yeah, Nasdaq ripping. NKLA went from $4.50 to $1.15 in a matter of minutes. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's crazy. But looks like I want to push up. I don't know. I don't really know much about this stock, so not sure if I already talked about. I have not talked about Nvidia yet. Nvidia took a huge dump yesterday. I mean, it came down and it's been stabilizing. Probably should have bought some. Probably should have been watching this around like the 348 area when it bounced up, because now it's ripping up hard. You know, and Nvidia looks like it's building some sort of consolidation up here. So I would be looking to see, you know, this looks more appetizing to me for like a day trade versus like a swing trade, because there's a wide movement. And here I think that the probability of it going up or down once it's mid-range here is kind of 50-50. You know, yes, it could go to 370, or it could come back down to like the 340, 330 area, I think. So mid-range at 350, a little bit dicey for me. But for a day trade, if you want to nail a day trade, Nvidia is a great one to day trade. Great stock to day trade. GNUS. Man, it's coming back down hard. Yeah, I mean, like these penny stocks, this is what I'm talking about, like VTIQ, GNUS. This is the type of stocks that I don't get involved in, because this is a penny stock pump and dump, you know. Went from 5 cents to $11. I mean, it's great for penny stock traders, but not so good for someone that has a risk profile as myself. And I think that if you're hopping on now, you kind of got a little bit late. You know, should have bought it when it broke out in the 3 range. That's just my opinion. You know. It's like, your opinion's trash. Any soybeans trade? You know, I haven't traded soybeans in a minute, but I do enjoy a soybean trade. You know, I do enjoy a soybean trade. I do have them up here. I do watch them, but man, why is it like not loading? Yo, Thinkorswim better get their act together. Am I loading the wrong one? Oh, here. I'm on the right one. It's on the right one. Oh no, these are May. That's why. I gotta change my. Sometimes the weird thing is sometimes your watch list auto updates, and then sometimes it doesn't. And soybeans for some reason doesn't update when that contract expires. So now I'm in July, because when I clicked on here, this is May expiration. You know, you don't want to be in May expiration. You want to be looking at July. You can be looking at some of the futures here: August, September, November. But for futures, soybeans, I mean this I like to trade ZS on the 15-minute chart. Oops, I don't want to do that. I wanted to do I mean, just amazing. Probably should have bought some. Should have bought some down at 840, 850 area. Trade the breakout. Wish I did. Wish I did. Wish I did buy some soybeans. People like soybeans. It's not interesting. I mean, soybeans. I mean, just to be honest, soybeans is not a glamorous trade, but it makes consistent profits, and that's what it is. I mean, I don't technically I don't really know a whole lot about soybeans and all that type of thing, and I honestly don't even really care. But from a chart perspective, soybean futures, I found that soybean futures follow fundamental support and resistance, which I excel at. So I found it, I'm not saying easy to trade, but easier for me to trade and evaluate from a chart perspective. Like, I don't even care what the soybeans are going to do. Sure, yeah, maybe some China news and stuff will screw me, but at the end of the day, the charting is on point. It's on point. You know, this now that it's broke out above here, has a high probability of going like 888, which still probably a good entry to buy some soybeans. So I wouldn't be opposed to getting some. I've just been so busy with the other trades that I haven't been trading soybeans, and I typically don't try to trade soybeans and stuff when China and all that was starting to heat up. So the trade war, not good for soybeans. I mean, if you look at last couple of years, I mean, the trade war was not kind. Came down from 1,000 all the way down to 800. Now it's just basically pinging back and forth, which this is a good place to be in as like a trader, as a futures trader or an options trader. You can trade options on soybeans too. Is, you know, it pinging back and forth like this. It's very nice. So I do enjoy the chart. I do like it. So that is why I trade soybeans. If there's a little bit of pullback, if it pulls back to 855, definitely would be a buyer for some soybeans, I think. If it pulls back to 855, it looks like it's going to bounce off the support here and resistance. Now it's cleared 860, so we'll be good. Or maybe even it comes back down to 860, pulls back to 860, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yo, take care, James. I'm gonna be popping off myself here in a few minutes. No, but thanks for bringing up soybeans. I mean, I haven't looked at it in a minute. Daniel All Genius sold for NKLA. Nice. Make that money. Like I said, who's getting paid today? So far, I'm like flat on the day, so I need to get some trades going here. I need to get some trades. Man, SPY S&Ps are ripping right now. Trying to go green. SPY ripping up to the 312 area right now. And we have the Qs. Qs are ripping to 238. Hey, Qs have hit all-time highs today. Congratulations. It's like crazy. Will Twilio break past that 205 mark? I can't even believe it's at 205, to be honest with you. Like, I can't even believe it. I cannot believe it. I mean, Twilio is wild. If I remember correctly, I haven't traded in a while. Options liquidity yet. Volume is really, really bad. But it's a mover. I mean, I wish more people did trade. Rough Rice is mooning. Check it out, Matt. Twilio. I mean, I wish more people would trade it. You know, same with like Spotify, DocuSign, Shopify, all those stocks that people don't trade. I mean, they would do amazing for options traders. Do food processing stocks go up or down with a food shortage? Well, I guess there's like the food would be getting more expensive. However, they would have less inventory. I think it would be bad for the business if they didn't have inventory. But I guess it depends. I guess we have to see what happens if there is going to be a food shortage or not, especially like on meat and stuff. So, anyways, guys, you guys all have a great day. I'm gonna pop off here. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.